What is up again, everybody? We are back. Welcome to 2026 in Ages of Film. We got a big video today. As you can tell by the title, we are ranking all 15 Batman feature films, son. Yes, sir. This is one that I am super excited for. Anyone who knows my channel knows I'm a big Batman fan. I mean, you see it all over my room. He's an OG in my life. All right. Batman has been in my life as far back as I can remember. It's time. It's time for us to rank all 15 films. You'll see the films that we're including here. We're including both cuts of the Justice League. So it's the feature film, which was really directed by Joss Whedon. Even though Snyder's name is attached to it, it's a Whedon film. And then we're also doing Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're including Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition only. And then we're including The Flash as well, because that is a Batman film. I mean, when you think about it, Batman is central to the plot. The Flash needs Batman in that film to do his thing. So we're including the Flash in this as well. And
there are multiple Batmans in that film as well. It's not even just one Batman.
So, yes, yeah. Multiple Batmans in the film. And then we got the 2 by Burton, the 2 by Schumacher, the Dark Knight trilogy, and then we have the Batman as well that came out in 2022.
Mask of the Phantasm as well.
Yeah. Mask of the Phantasm and Lego Batman movies. So a total of 15 feature films we're ranking. But as you can see, I'm not doing this alone, guys. No, sir. If I was going to do this, I had to do it right. I had to bring on my co-Batman fan, Bryan Lomax, to join me. Even though I kind of feel bad because like Bryan has done this ranking multiple times. I was like, he's got to do it again. But I knew he would love watching the Batman films again. It's no burden for him. So I brought Bryan on to do this ranking video with me.
I will say, however, since I did the ranking on my channel, my ranking has changed. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I watched him. I watched him again in the lead up to this because you got to, aren't you? It's just the done thing. And I don't know, just something clicked with something where I just got to go. You know what? I've just got to. So that
I noticed on your ranking, I was like, because there were a couple that have dropped, some that have gone up. So yeah, we'll see. I think there's only. I think maybe 2 where Bryan and I have them in the same spot. But you'll see 2 perspectives from big Batman fans of how we rank these movies and our thoughts on them. I think we'll have similar thoughts, but we'll just maybe, I don't know, emphasize certain things more than others. But so I'll put the rankings up as we go along. But first,
bear in mind, 9. This shows you what an absolute bat freak I am. 9 of these movies are a 5-star film for me. So that may seem unreasonable to any normal film fan out there, right. But for me, this is Batman. I just come to it on a completely different level. So
normally I would have been just dumbfounded by Bryan giving 9 out of 15 movies in a series a 5-star rating. But then I was like, you know what? This is Batman. I'll let it slide. I'm fine with it. So so I'm sure we'll get into some good discussions. But first, we do have some people in the chat already. I see my mod Jerry in the chat saying, "Let's go." What's up, Jerry, man? Dude. Jerry, you're a can of corn, man. You're the best. Thanks for being here, dude. Brother, where in the heck have you been? He says, making brother worry about you. Yeah, you know what? I was on a hiatus for a while towards the end of 2025. A lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I had to step away for a little bit. My work schedule got just crazy busy. and had some other personal things going on, so I had to just step aside for a minute. But glad to be back. I'm still going to be putting out content, not at the same rate that I used to, but I will still be I'll still be kicking it with you freaks. So yeah, he says show Lomax channel some love as well. Yes, go check out Bryan's channel as well, guys. His link is in the description, so if you want to check his channel out, go do so. He's got a great channel over there doing great stuff. Sean Sheridan says the Dark Knight is a number one, but Batman Begins is close. Worst Batman movie, Batman and Robin. No argument.
I think with us, you're going to be surprised tonight, because I think that Batman and Robin is going to be pretty much higher than you're expecting. I'm going to say that much.
Oh, man. I love it. Jerry says, who plays your favorite Batman? Ooh, Jerry, that's a good question. So the way I analyze it a little differently. I acknowledge
Affleck.
Yeah. So my favorite Batman version on screen is Ben Affleck. However, I fully acknowledge the best actor to play Batman is Christian Bale. I think he's given the best acting performances of Batman and Bruce Wayne. And he is my favorite Bruce Wayne. But as far as just Batman, the look of Affleck, the intensity of Affleck, the brutality of Affleck, I love that Batman. So Batman, Affleck is my favorite. Actor, Bruce Wayne, Bale is my favorite. But I think Pattinson did a really good job too. It must be said. He did a great job. Bryan, what about you?
So I'm pretty much the same. Pretty much what you said. See, for me, there's three characters you got to play if you're playing Batman. And that's Batman. Then there's Bruce Wayne, who's the shrewd businessman who actually knows what he's doing, who's pretty smart, who can go into a boardroom and clean house. And then you also have the Bruce Wayne who goes into a boardroom and makes it look like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and is he's sleeping and he's mucking about with women and all that. It's a bit goofy. And that's the act. That's the real mask. That's the true mask. And I think if you get all those three different sides, and because of that, I think Christian Bale's the only one so far who's actually managed to play all three of those very distinctly. However, his Batman, when it comes to just Batman being out there beating up criminals and stuff, I think Affleck had it like boom, nailed. I mean, that warehouse fight alone, that is Batman. That is Batman. Okay.
Yes.
It's just I think with Affleck's Bruce Wayne, he was essentially just Batman without the mask. So he never kind of changed tone in that respect. But it's okay because it was fine for that world. I'm not dissing him in that regard. That was the world that Snyder told. But if you're talking like comic book adaptation and whatnot, like how they transfer the character from the comic books, I think Bale's the one who got all three of those sides.
Right.
Affleck's the best Batman. Keaton for me is always going to have that nostalgia factor.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
He's the one who brought me into the world of Batman. But for me with Pattinson, because of the story they were telling, the point in his life as Batman that they were going for, they hadn't yet got to the side of Bruce Wayne that needs to fit in with society. And I feel like that's going to come next off the back of what he learned in the first film. So I think he's got some real scope there in the next film to bring that side of the character and take the lead. Because certainly as Batman, I mean, just that scene when he's introduced, that guy's like, who the hell are you? And it's like,
it's so good. You just hear him walking down the steps slowly in the shadows, like, in the narration of I am the shadows. He was very good. But we'll get right into this ranking. We got 15. We'll kind of go back and forth with each one, discuss them, what we liked about it, what we don't like about it, and have some fun, man. So, Bryan, since you're our guest, we'll go ahead and let you start with your number 15. We're going to go from the bottom, work our way up. But Bryan and I have the same number 15 here, so we'll both just kind of discuss it real quick.
Just throw it.
Bryan's and mine's is, of course, Batman and Robin, coming in at number 15 at the bottom. And we both gave it 1.5 stars. So, yeah, it's Bryan.
Did you go?
What
did you go rooting through my letterbox?
Yeah, no. It's funny because when I was going through the Batman films for this as well, after I watched Batman and Robin, I almost tapped out, to be honest. I think I even messaged you. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm struggling, man. But at the end, I went to rate it on my letterbox, and I was like, yeah, that's like a 1.5 stars. And I noticed you also had it 1.5 stars. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. The actual story of what happened when we were watching is that I watched it the night before Clayton. And it was me who texted him and said, I'm watching Batman and Robin, dude. I'm 15 minutes in. Feel like I need to tap out. And then you sent me a message saying, pussy. So just get it watched. And then the night after, he was watching it and he's like, dude, I feel like I need to tap out. I was like, you better watch that because I fucking watched it for this.
That is true. Yes, that is how it happened, actually. I forgot about that. I made Bryan suffer through it, and then in return, he made me suffer through it. So, yeah. But Bryan, what do you love about this movie, man, since we both have it number 15?
Nothing whatsoever. You know what? There's it's embarrassing how many times I've actually seen this movie. It's like it's just every couple of years I do a run through, and like all sense and reason within me just seems to go out the window because I know I should skip Batman and Robin. I know when I get to it, I should just be like, nope, not going down that road again. And yet I cannot help myself. I saw this film 3 times at the cinema.
Ooh.
3 times.
Ooh. That is rough.
I think the first time I went to see it, I was like, okay, that was different. But I'm a Batman fan. I've got to take the rough with this. No, that was all right. It was okay. It wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as people saying. So I went the second time, and it was just like, I don't know. I feel like my Batman fandom is on thin ice here. Yeah. Seriously is. And I think I was in denial, just pure, unadulterated denial. And then, so I had to go and see it a third time. And then on that third time, I'm like, oh my word, this is bad. This is so bad.
So you kind of had a little bit of your Justice League syndrome there, where only not to the degree. I don't think you gave it a 5 the first time.
No.
But
I don't tend to see straight when it comes to Batman because
me neither.
When a movie comes out, I'm just like, I'm there day one.
Yeah.
That's it. And people can rag on it all they want, but I'm going in there with the intention of loving it.
Yes.
So I will see everything in it that I possibly can, that I can latch onto because I'm a Batman fanatic, before all the criticisms start taking hold and I start going,
right.
They're right. That's
yeah. Well, and it's sad and embarrassing because I've, over the years, honestly, I'm such a Batman fan. There have been times over the years I've probably defended it to a degree. We're like, I think I've defended all the Batman movies against criticism to some degree. But as a kid, as a 5-6-year-old kid, I liked this one. I had to admit it. I liked it.
Dude. You've got the excuse of being a 5-year-old kid. I was 17 years old.
Oh man, yeah.
So I if any 5-year-old kid wants to love Batman and Robin, I'm like, awesome,
It's
gateway
made for
drug.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, it is made for kids, but it's also really inappropriate at times for
Right.
kids. Which
Yes.
and that's part of the issue. Like if they'd have leaned in to the aesthetic that they're clearly going for and just said,
Mhm.
okay, this is purely for kids, that's it. Then I would kind of have a modicum of respect for it in the same way that I do with the '60s Batman show. But because they throw all the innuendo in there and the really inappropriate sex jokes and you're just like, who is this for? Like, Hick, seriously? You're just trying to throw the adults a bone there, but instead you're making them feel uncomfortable about watching it around the kids when Batman and Robin are talking about nice buds and stems too. And you're just like, what the heck? And that stupid dance that Poison Ivy does when she comes out of the gorilla suit, which is just super embarrassing. It's like, it's one of them movies where you feel secondhand embarrassment for the people who are involved.
Yeah.
Like, especially Uma Thurman in this. She does not come off well in this film at all.
No, she doesn't. She's way too sharp. Like it feels
Mm-hmm.
like a performance. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel genuine. It's not really who that character is either. And then Bane is the biggest joke of all in this film.
Oof.
I mean,
Man alive.
and he doesn't really do anything either. Like you take that character out of this film, nothing changes with the plot. Nothing changes with the
No.
characters.
No.
He's literally a waste and a joke of a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's just
why bother doing the whole, like, because to get some things about his origin, like, kind of right in obviously they like neon the hell out of it, and it's just like
yeah,
really camp, but there is certain aspects about it where you go, oh yeah, that is kind of Bane's origin.
sure.
But then they make him just this lackey who's got no brain, and you're just like, dude, you're coming off the back of the Nightfall storyline. The reason you put him in this movie is because they've just had the Nightfall run, and he just proved himself to be one of the greatest villains ever, most intelligent, like,
Mhm.
physically. And then you turn him into this. So yeah, I mean, take a shot every time George Clooney doesn't shake his head, and you will leave this film very sober because his head never stops moving. Like
No, that's true.
even when he's just stood there listening to, like, when I watched it this time around, because we made a comment, we had a bit of a joke with each other beforehand about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna look for it again, and not that it's hard to notice, but it's literally the scene where Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl comes into it, and like when she's first introduced, and she's talking to them all, and he's not even talking, and he's still just stood there like even listening. He just can't keep his head still. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I want to grab it and say, stop, just
Yeah.
stop. But he's got
Yeah.
that under control, like, since then. But
I don't
yeah,
know what
back
he was
then,
doing.
no.
Like it, and for me, he's easily the most embarrassing Batman because he does not hide the fact that he's Batman
No,
at all, and it just makes
no.
everyone around him look so stupid that they
Yeah,
can't tell this is Bruce Wayne.
yeah,
And the thing is, he's not like Pattinson's Bruce Wayne where he's in hibernation and nobody sees him. Like he's clearly out in public doing press conferences and interviews and all this stuff, humanitarian work. So he's in the spotlight. And
yeah.
so Batman is also in the spotlight in this film. So the fact that no one can be like, hey, that's obviously Bruce Wayne, it's bad. It's bad. All the puns at the character's
Uh,
expenses. I mean, just every line by
every
Freeze is
single.
one pun after another. It's like,
And they're not even good. They're not even
no,
good puns.
no,
It's,
no. I will say, in defense, I do still, I do still find Schwarzenegger entertaining, not in necessarily in a good way, but he always has such a on-screen presence. I kind of find him entertaining in what he's doing.
oh,
That's like
man.
the only thing that keeps this from not being like a one. And
I
it
actually
does have some artistic like style to it by Schumacher. Even though it's not good style, you can see
reaching,
style
yeah,
in it.
reaching there.
So
I'll say Elliot Goldenthal's score is still quite entertaining.
yes, yes.
I like his score. I do think actually the well, maybe two actors in it who are the only ones who are actually really trying, and that's Chris O'Donnell. He's trying to have an arc in this, and he's one of the few characters who kind of does have a reasonably solid arc. I mean,
Mhm.
in all fairness, if I think about it, each character does get something of an arc, So fair play. It's still, it's not great. It's not handled very
No.
well. But I think, yeah, Chris O'Donnell and Alfred Goth, I think they're trying.
Yes.
They're acting as if they're in a different film. They're
Yes.
playing it straight, like they want to be in a serious Batman film, and they're just not.
No.
So
No.
yeah.
Yeah. And with that, we will move on to Brian's number 14, which is Joss Whedon's Justice League at number
Yeah.
14, 2.5 stars there. Um, tell me why
Justice
you
League.
love this one so much.
Oh man. Right. If I'll be fair. If it wasn't for all the drama that went on behind the scenes that came out after the fact, I think I would like this one a bit more still. I think it'd be like a 3.5. I could be entertained by it. But being just knowing what went on leaves us a really nasty taste in the mouth. Because you're watching scenes and like just simple things like Ray Fisher going booyah, knowing that they had such an argument over that one scene behind the scenes because Ray Fisher didn't want to say that because it was like stereotypical black man kind of thing to say. And it was like, are we not moving away from these stereotypes? And Joss Whedon was just like, just say it. Just say it. I'm the director, just say it. And
Right.
so it's one of those moments that Joss Whedon got a bit dickish about. And it's stuff like that where you're like, you watch that now and you can't just see the scene. You see all the drama that went on behind it. And because, at the end of the day, a woman died, took her own life, and then a director, a studio uses that as a way to push a director out and bring someone in who acts like a tyrant. And it just means that when you've seen all this stuff now, you see all the changes that he did, even the stuff that at the time was quite amusing. Now it's not amusing. You look at it and you're just like, yeah. It just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Like I say, if it wasn't for all that drama, I'd probably look at it and think, you know what, it's solid enough. It's 3.5 stars. I definitely had a case of the Batman goggles,
Sure.
when I went in. I'm not going to deny the fact the first and the second time I saw this, I just had a blast with it. But it's just one of them that once you know the story and then you start seeing the cracks and then you start realizing what isn't Snyder's and what is Whedon's, and you're looking at it and you're like, it really doesn't mesh, does it? You can see these are two films fighting to get out. And then once you see Zack Snyder's version, you're like, oh, then it makes it even worse because you go back then and you watch it.
Yeah.
Like the first time I watched the Snyder cut, the night after I watched the Justice League cut, and that was the worst it's ever been for me because finally you could see what was his and what was his, and it was just like, ooh, yeah, that's rough. That is rough.
Yeah, it was. Sean Sheridan says 2.5 down from 5, quite a drop. Laughing emoji. Yeah, this is one of those films I definitely had to have. In fact, you know what? We'll just go ahead. I'll throw this up because it's also my number 14. I wasn't quite as forgiving on it as Brian was. I gave it 2 stars. But yeah, I think for me, a large part of it is just like once you see the Snyder cut, it puts everything in perspective. You
Mm,
see all the glaring issues of an incomplete work versus a completed work. And I definitely had to have a major Batman blinders on the first time I saw it in theaters. I
yeah,
didn't love it, but I liked it the first time when I saw it in theaters. I was like, yeah, that was pretty good actually. But then as I started watching it more, one, it didn't have the rewatch value, didn't hold up very well on multiple viewings. And then once the Snyder cut came out, I was like, yeah, this is I don't even know I'll watch this one again.
yeah,
Um, and it's just it really doesn't have much. There's some entertainment to it. You know, like I said, I do like Ben Affleck as Batman. He looks really good. I do like the chemistry between him and Alfred by Jeremy Irons, who I think is a very good Alfred, especially in this version, this world of Snyder. I think he fits right in the pocket. But the other Justice League characters, other than Wonder Woman and Cyborg, like Flash, Aquaman are a joke in this version. They really don't have anything to do. You have the
yeah.
Flash, fastest man alive, and the third act is just pushing cars out of the way. He's
Yeah.
got no integral part in the final
Stupid.
plot. So
So
dumb.
stupid.
And the whole resurrection of Superman I thought was extremely rushed. He gets resurrected, and then next thing, boom, right into battle. There's no real letting that emotion of his comeback settle, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot. There's a lot of issues for me watching this back, but it's still one of those movies that if it's on, I can watch it. I'm not going to go out of my way to throw it on anymore. But if I was at a friend's house or someone had this on playing, I could get some entertainment out of it. I think it's got some stuff going for it. But it's just
Yeah.
two different visions: Snyder's
Yeah.
vision and Whedon's vision, and they don't mesh. They just don't
Yeah.
go. They don't blend very well. You have Whedon trying to do his Avengers type of comedy and nonsense, and then Snyder trying to make a much more grounded, serious, epic type of film, and they just don't go blend together.
I will say as well, it wasn't just Batman goggles for me. It was like because I've always been the DC guy more than I've been a
Mm.
Marvel guy. Like somebody says to me, "Do you want an Avengers movie or a Justice League movie?" It, it flipping Justice League movie.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
sign me up. Yeah. Um, I love a lot of the Marvel stuff. I know you're not as keen. And I think they did a great job, like leading up to their Avengers movies, and
Mm.
so I do really like them. But it's just in terms of comic books and my draw, I'm much more drawn to the world of the DC characters than I am the Marvel ones.
Agreed.
So as much as Batman was a draw for me in this, yeah, Wonder Woman definitely, Superman definitely,
Mm.
um, even Aquaman as well. It's like just that whole roster. I want to see that roster on film. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I say, I was blinded. I was blinded by the fandom, and
I was too,
it's
unfortunately. Jason from Backtrack Cinema is in the house saying, "Hey,
hey
Clay and Brian,
Jason.
what's up, Jason? Thanks for being here, man."
Yeah.
So we will move on to number 13. Brian's number 13 is drumroll 66 Batman from 1966. Gave it 3 stars. What's I'll let you talk about this one. I'm interested to hear if your thoughts have changed. Did you include this in your Batman review series from a while back? I can't remember if
Yes.
you
Yeah, I
did.
did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Have your thoughts changed on it at all?
I honestly can't remember what it is I said in my review for it. But for me, it is it's a film I struggle to stay awake in. Like whenever I get to around the 70-minute mark, I can feel my eyelids going, and
Mm,
yet I I do like the show. You know, I own the show on Blu-ray. there, there are very few Batman related shows that I will not end up, buying.
Yeah.
So far, the only one I refuse to watch is Batwoman, the TV show
Mm,
Batwoman.
yeah.
Nothing has inspired me to go and check that out, and I doubt it ever will. But
I can't imagine why.
can't imagine why. But yeah, like the '60s Batman show, I think for what it does, it very much suits that 20-minute slot. It is like the I remember watching the reruns back in the early '90s when Batman was becoming big again, thanks to what Tim Burton had done. They did the reruns of the '60s show, and it just worked. Sitting down with your tea or your dinner, for those who aren't of a certain persuasion. So, it's sitting down with your dinner at night with the family. That comes on. It's 20 minutes, and it's just a little blast of fun. It's got bits of action. It's comedy. It's bright. It's vibrant, and it just works. It keeps It's just entertaining for that 20 minutes. Once you stretch it out into a 90-minute movie, it's like, okay, yeah, the joke wears a little bit thin by
Mm,
that point, but it's still got some classic jokes in there. The
yeah.
anti-shark repellent. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, and the nuns
Oh,
walking past and the
yeah.
school children and like all that stuff. It's really entertaining. Colourful roster of villains and yeah, when I think about '60s comic books, but yeah, the Batman '60s TV show kind of summed them up nicely.
Mm,
But yeah, I think it knows its audience. That's the thing. Like I think Schumacher tried to emulate this in a way with Batman and Robin, but he made it inappropriate.
mm.
Whereas any jokes that are in the '60s version, they're not inappropriate. They literally are for all the family. You don't have to tell your kids don't repeat that, or you don't have to
Right.
explain to your kid isn't going to go, what does that mean? And you go, oh, when you're older, I'll let you know. So so it knows its audience, it knows what it's doing, and it's like, yeah, I understand anybody not really being down with it. Yeah, not my thing,
Mm.
and yeah, I'm not exactly in a rush to watch it, but I give it 3 stars just because I'm like, I get what it's doing, and I get why some people would be entertained by it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing about Batman 66 is it knows what it's trying to be, which I give it credit for. Because some films you're watching like, what exactly is this film trying to do? What is it trying to be? I don't see a clear intent or motive. But
Mm.
Batman 66, it knows very well what it's trying to be. It's, the first season of the show had already happened, so it had source material. It knew it's just carrying over that tone to a feature film. So, and I give it credit for that. But I'll talk a little bit more about it when I get to. It's not quite my number 13. I might shock Brian with my number 13 here. But my number 13 is actually this guy, The Flash.
Oh,
I gave 2.5 stars.
yes.
Yeah. So this has come way down for me. I loved this film when I saw it in theaters. I loved
Ah.
it for a while afterwards, actually. But man, when I watched it back for this review series, all the flaws stuck out like a sore thumb to me, man. I was just like, ooh, that didn't work this time. I was doing that like every 5 minutes. I was like, ugh, yeah, no, 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 thank you. However, that being said, there's still some good stuff that they have going on here. I do think Barry gets a full arc in the film. He struggles with, his past trauma. He wants to bring his mother back. He realizes that he can't. He has to deal with that closure, that finality of his past. And I think that third act, the emotional weight there absolutely hits. It still hits. I don't think you even have to have lost a mother to relate. If you've lost anyone that you care about, I think that you can resonate with Barry in that scene, wanting them to still be around. And so it has emotional weight. Obviously, everything with Michael Keaton, I loved. I've said it a number of times. Michael Keaton was the first Batman that I was introduced to on screen. Yes, I had seen the animated series before coming to Batman 1989, but Batman 89 was the first Batman movie I had seen. So Keaton was my Batman for a long time growing up. So seeing him back as Batman in this film, I still love. He still brings it. He still is ready to get nuts. Um, but yeah, so it does have things working for it that I really liked. I like that they brought Elfman's score back for the Batman scenes, and I thought they redesigned the Batcave in a very uh, accurate way to the Keaton Batman films. I loved the fight choreograph in this one. Was really cool seeing Keaton still going like that. Obviously, there's some effects work there, but they made it look really good. However, for me, like a 2.5 star film, it's like the positives and the negatives kind of cancel out. They're like fighting, one trying to outdo the other, but for every good decision, there was a bad decision that kind of just weighed it back down. So I thought the Andy Muschietti or whatever his name is, the director,
Yeah, Muschietti.
uh,
Muschietti.
Muschietti.
Yeah.
I just thought he leaned way too much into the CGI, and a lot of the effects just they don't hold up very well for me. And I don't like. I think Ezra Miller as the Flash works better as a supporting character in the Justice League than he does as the central front runner, top billing of a film in this one. When he has to carry the film, doesn't fully land for me. But when he's like an add-on, like a supporting character within a group of people that he can kind of bounce off of and play off of, I think he does better in that spot. He did have a challenging job here, playing two versions of himself and playing off of that. But I feel like his personality, um, which is much more of a kind of this coy, playful type of personality, didn't fully for this last time for me didn't fully connect with the darker, serious tone that Keaton was playing as Batman. And for me, for whatever reason, watching it back, I felt like those two tones were kind of fighting against each other a little bit, and it kind of took me out of the experience. But um, yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Flash. Maybe on next viewing it will go back up. But this time, man, it just there are too many things that were fighting against my urge to love it. But yeah, so that was my 13. Brian's number 12. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Is doom Batman Forever. He gave 3.5 stars, which is pretty close to what I gave it, but I'll let Brian talk about it first.
Yeah, so like Batman Forever came at the height of my Batman fandom. Now that's not to say that my Batman fandom has decreased since Batman Forever. It's just I got into Batman at the early 90s with the Tim Burton movies. At that point, like when Batman Forever was on the way out, Batman Returns was my favorite movie. As a 13-year-old, I could say Batman Returns was the best movie ever made. And so any Batman movie coming out was just like, I just remember buying all the merch, buying all the tie-in magazines and the mugs and just like,
Yeah.
I had to see this film. It's just not as good. It's like, and I know, I even know that my score is too high. I know it is, but I just enjoy it, and it's the nostalgia. I don't get bitten by the nostalgia bug that often. I really don't. There aren't many things that really just, yeah. If I watch something much later in life that I used to love as a kid and it's rubbish, then it's rubbish, and I say as much. There's not many things where I'm like, no, I hold on to that nostalgia.
Right.
But with Batman Forever, I do think there is still some nostalgia. Before Batman and Robin completely derailed the franchise, I just felt like the Batman movies at this point were kind of becoming like Bond movies, in the sense that you had the Batgirl in it, who's going to be the pin-up woman that they get in this film, who's the villains. It's, you got the gadgets. What gadgets is Batman going to use? What car is he going to be driving? It's literally, it's Bond,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in a batsuit. So all the, and even like in Batman Forever, you have an intro thing it's actually played at the end of the film when they come out to the bat symbol, and then they repeat it in Batman and Robin, but it's the three of them who come out instead of the two, and that feels very much like the opening gun barrel thing in Bond. So, and like, knowing that was kind of the pattern there now that was established
Right.
as a teenager, I'm just thinking these can go on for years. They can go on for years and years and years. You can bring in different directors. You just, new villain, new lady friend.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing him for a run. And then obviously Batman and Robin completely derailed it, destroyed it, and then it went down a different tack. But until then, Batman Forever was just like, you know what? Okay, it's not as good as the first two, but I love the fact that there's colourful villains in there. I enjoy the music. I thought Val Kilmer was actually a pretty decent Batman. I thought it was a pretty good Bruce Wayne as well. It just maybe not being served well with the movie that he was in. He was certainly
Right.
a hell of a lot better than George Clooney.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I still enjoy it. I sit there and I watch it, and I know there's things in it that aren't great, but I just can't help but enjoy it. And Nicole Kidman's still pretty fine in it.
Yeah, that was like in her prime, man. Yeah, she was looking good. I don't think she's ever looked sexier actually than she did in that movie. So, yeah, I have some real issues with it that I'll discuss when I get to it. But yeah, I get the nostalgia, and the nostalgia for me when it comes to Batman plays heavily into a number of these films where I'm just like, I go back to my childhood. I remember watching it as a kid, loving it, and that love still there. But yeah, my number 12, Brian's already mentioned on his, and that's Batman 1966, which I gave a 3 out of 5. Similar thoughts to Brian on this one. I respect it because, again, it's a film that knows what it's trying to be. It executes that pretty well. I think that I actually do think. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Oh, he's getting Clayton jealous. He's getting Clayton jelly. Oh man, that looks so good.
It's even got the
Yeah,
the
it
thing
does.
that he uses to kill the guy at the beginning.
I need that. I need that in my collection.
If I still had the box of it, I'd send it to you, mate.
Yeah. But Yeah, I actually think that Adam West does a good job in this film because he plays the character that's on script. And that's a big part for me as far as when it comes to performances. Some actors will, they'll give a good performance, but it's not the performance the script needs. You, as an actor, you have to act to what the script needs. And Adam West does that. He acts to what the script needs from him in this film. So I think he actually does a good job. I think Burgess Meredith as Penguin's probably the standout as far as the villains go. I think he has the most to do. I think he's probably got the clearest motive. Although all four of the villains' motives kind of blend into one. Penguin's kind of the brainchild behind it. I think he does good. Frank Gorshin, I think he's always entertaining for me,
Yeah.
as Riddler. But my big criticism with 66 is more so the tonality, not necessarily that it's inconsistent in tone, but it's just not the child level tonality of this film is not the tone that I like in a Batman film. To me, Batman should be dark, gritty, brutal. He's the embodiment of fear. He uses fear against crime, against villains.
Well, I mean,
Nobody.
he did, and then he didn't, and then
Right.
he did again. Like
Yes.
if you look at 50s comic books when the Comics Code kind of took over and he was
Yes.
fighting space aliens and
Yeah.
like
It
UFOs
got
and
crazy.
gorillas and that kind of thing. So that whole 50s period and the early to mid 60s period,
Yeah.
that
Not a
is
good
kind of
time.
the tone that it was. Yeah.
Yeah, not a good time for Batman in that era.
Uh,
But I think the character definitely works best dark, gritty, brutal, using fear against the criminals. And nobody would walk down an alley in Gotham of the 60s version and think twice about committing a crime if they see Adam West. Hey, chum, better not steal that bank, like he's just not, it's not nothing intimidating about him. But again, for what it is, what it's trying to be, it executes it. I think not very high on ambition for me because it kind of plays it safe. It kind of just
yeah.
hits the notes of the TV show, doesn't really do anything big or anything like that.
I mean, it
Um,
didn't have a particularly big budget either. I mean, it
it's true.
essentially is shot with the budget of several episodes of the show. It's just,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But I a couple of the jokes do still land. I always love the can't get rid of the bomb line. It's just so dumb
Some
and
days you
cheesy.
just can't get rid of
Get
the
rid of a
bomb.
bomb. Yes. And but yeah, it's there are some people out there, ironically, my dad, one of them, who does enjoy this lighter, more coy, playful version of Batman. They just get a kick out of it, and that's fine. If that's the version you like, then you like what you like. But yeah, that's number 12 for me.
I mean, that does highlight one of the things about the character that I do love is that there is no one definitive version of Batman. There's only the version that is definitive for you.
Right.
Because there's been so many different iterations of the character, and he's fit within so many different genres and worlds over the, you know, nearly 100 years that he's been around.
Mhm.
It's just like, yeah, you can you take whichever one you like, and
Yeah.
but this whole notion that it's like, no, Batman has to be this and has to be that. So I've never bought that. It's just,
No.
Batman can't kill. Well, in which version? Like,
Right.
don't get me wrong, I prefer the Batman who doesn't kill. That's my Batman. But I'm not going to stand. I'm not going to die on that hill and say that he can't, because history has shown us that actually there's been many periods in which he can and has,
Right.
not least of which the original period in which he was created.
Yep.
So yeah, it, again, I just put it down to whichever version you like. That's great. But
Mhm.
You don't have
Yeah.
to crap on another version because it doesn't
Right.
fit your idea of who he should be. But
Right. Exactly. Moving on to number 11 for Brian. He has the Lego Batman movie, which he gave a 4 out of 5. Actually, the same rating that I gave it, but different placement. So I'll let Brian talk about it first.
this is a film for Batman fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's the, I mean, the jokes in it. You talk about the ratio of jokes that work to
Yeah.
the ones that don't work. This just hits
Yes.
constantly. Like nearly
Yes.
every gag that is coming out is just a banger, and it's all like
The roundhouse kick to the
yeah.
piano when Alfred sneaks up on him. Oh man, I
And
love that shit.
just the bit. No, I don't want to do that. No, 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 no. So, but it's just
Oh,
like so many jokes in it that I would say 50% of the jokes in it are for your hardcore Batman fans.
yeah.
Where like there's stuff flying all over the place where you just like and just visual gags as well because there's
Right.
so much detail on the
Yes.
screen. So many of the characters on there. If you're just a casual like, if you only know Batman from the movies,
Yeah.
then there's going to be
You're gonna
certain
miss
things.
it.
You're going to miss stuff. But if you're an absolute proper Batman
Mhm.
nerd, there's just so many things, little visual things that you see that they're like, that's
Right.
Clayface. Oh, that, and it's yeah. Um, but yeah,
Well, it even has that scene where they're going down all the villain names, and unless you're like a diehard Batman fan, you're not going to know who half of those names
yeah,
were.
yeah,
But I love that they did that because that is
yeah,
for diehard Batman fans. We're naming,
yeah,
Clock King and
yeah.
Condiment Man, and
Condiment King,
yeah,
Crazy
King
Quill. Yeah,
Snake,
it's
and
just
all these
yeah,
things.
yeah, it's great. No, it is. It's just like sitting there watching it, and it's one of those films you can watch again and catch stuff that you completely missed the
Right.
first time round, just because there's so much detail on screen. Like stuff when like there's loads of stuff kicking off, you could pause the image and then go, let's have a look at it. Oh, look what they done there. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the yeah. Yeah, the level of detail on there, and just the clear love for the world of Batman as well. Like there's a few times they take pot shots at the ridiculousness of Batman,
Hmm.
but it's done in such a loving way. Like you can tell
Right.
that the people who made it, it's a nod, it's a wink to the fans, but it's like, yeah, it's I I'm I it's very very rare I will give an animated movie 5 stars. So 4 stars for this is it's really quite high for me. And I think when it first came out, it was like a 4.5.
Hmm.
But for me, it's just no matter how good I know this is, that if I go to my shelves to pull something off the shelf, I guarantee 4 times out of 5, I'm going to pick Batman Forever off the shelf before I pick the Lego Batman movie. Even though I know the Batman movie is better,
Hmm.
it is. I mean, I've put it higher clearly. I
Right.
I I'm most likely going to watch Batman Forever over it just because I don't know. There's something about animated movies where my brain has to do some kind
Yeah.
of adjustment in order to watch it. I'm much better with live action stuff, even if it's like a 3-star film. But I mean, that's not really something the film can help. It's an animated movie, but that's
Yeah.
the only reason really it doesn't get a 5, which is a stupid reason. But there you go.
No, I mean, I'm fair play because I'm the same way. Like there's a few animated films I've given a 4 out of 5 to. I think the highest I've gone is like a 4.5. I think maybe only one or two have gotten that. But I'm just not an animated film guy. I'd much rather watch real actors doing real things in a real world than animation. Not dogging on it. I get that it has its fan base. It has people that love animated films.
Yeah.
I'm not trolling on it. I'm just, it's not my preferred genre of film to go to. I just very rarely am going to grab an animated film off the shelf to watch.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So yeah, my number 11 again is one Brian's already mentioned, which this is going to be ironic because Brian has this film rated higher than me, but I have it ranked higher than Brian does. And that is, of course, Batman Forever. Gave it a 3 out of 5. Number 11 for me. I think that I do think this is a good film. I'll say that. I think it's a good film. Anyone who says that Batman Forever is a bad film, I think is being either one, too hard on it because they don't like the version of it, or B, they're misunderstanding what the film is and what the film's trying to be. I think Schumacher he has style and an artistic style in this film that's clear from the cinematography, the production design. It's a very boldly colored film. Like there's style to it in the film. It's got a good score. There are entertaining performances. I think Jim Carrey is very over the top. He's entertaining in this film, even though Jim Carrey doesn't become the Riddler. He makes the Riddler become Jim Carrey. I'm fine with that because I happen to love Jim Carrey and I happen to love Jim Carrey's humor and personality. So that's not a flaw for me. That's just entertainment. Like I love Jim Carrey watching Jim Carrey do his thing. And even this time when I watch that Batcave scene where Riddler is in the Batcave.
Joy Gasm.
Yes, this movie is very quotable. I'll say that. It's got a lot of lines in it that I still quote to this day. There's a scene that I love quoting where he's wearing the jacket. He's like, "You love the jacket? It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night."
Jogging at night.
Like, just the visual of that Riddler jogging down the street with the high hands and everything just gets me every time. But and I agree with Brian. I think Val Kilmer actually does a good job in this film. I just think he is trying to make a different Batman film than what Schumacher is trying to make. I think Kilmer is trying to go for a much more darker, serious version of Batman, where Schumacher is trying to make a movie for kids. He's trying to sell toys. He's acknowledged that in interviews. Schumacher was trying to sell toys. He was trying to make a movie for kids. Kilmer was trying to make a more serious film. And Kilmer had even said that in interviews when he was still alive. R.I.P. to Kilmer. But I've seen an interview where he was asked about the Dark Knight trilogy, and Kilmer said, he's like, well, they're making the type of movies that I wanted us to make, but we didn't make. So Kilmer was trying to do something that Schumacher wasn't. And I think that's why I think Kilmer's performance comes off a little maybe inconsistent or a little flat to some people, because they see the tone difference from him and what Schumacher is trying to do. But this film also has a lot of flaws. I mean, some of the dialogue is like cringe. You have Nicole Kidman, who's got the hots for Batman, and you even have a scene where Batman comes to this girl's house at night to sleep with her, because that's something Batman would totally do. When it's like, no, actually, like, for one, this isn't the first girl that he's had a crush on. It's not the first girl that's had a crush on him. And Batman's way too disciplined and focused on his mission to even think about doing something like that. But it's just, and then of course, and this is kind of a problem with all four of the first four Batman movies, but you have Commissioner Gordon, who literally has basically nothing to do in this film. He's a waste of a character, and it's upsetting because the character is actually a really strong, good character when he's used right. In a lot of the comics, I mean, some of the best Batman comics feature a very good version of Jim Gordon. And here in he's doesn't really have anything to do. But overall, I do think the positives outweigh the negatives. I do think this is a good film. It delves into Bruce's psychology and some of the trauma that he's experienced from his parents' death. He's wrestling with that. You have Robin, who actually has an arc in this film as well, I would say. But yeah, not a great film, very flawed, but I do think it's a overall. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. So that is my number 11.
2 words: bat nipples.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what Schumacher was thinking with those scenes, man, with the suit. But Brian's number 10, one that I've already mentioned, and that's The Flash. He gave a 4 out of 5 to. Keep in mind, this may be a number 10 on his list, but he still gave it a 4 out of 5. I mean, that's a pretty good rating. So he obviously likes his film quite a bit more than I do currently. So I'll let him speak on it.
Yeah, for me, the reason it loses that star is the effects work.
It's bad.
There's some good stuff, some good effects work in it when it's on point, but like there's so much effects work that just looks unfinished. Where they're just like, we can blame like, you know, schedule. Did it get released before it should have done, or whatever? I think it's an Andy Muschietti thing because all of his films that I've seen have some pretty ropey effects work. His It films, his Stephen King adaptations, they had some really ropey effects in.
Yes.
His film Mama, some really ropey effects in it, like some CGI and that was just like, I've
not seen that one.
Yeah, it was just some directors. I don't know what it is. I don't know why some directors have that as a trait within their film. Like, is it just, are they not strong enough to put their foot down, or is it like?
I think it may be. I think it may just be a difficult. Like, I think it's just easier for them to just say, "Hey, let's just do CGI," rather than having to build a practical set or anything like that.
No, I mean, like James Cameron, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When James Cameron makes a movie, and it's mostly CGI, you know that 20 years later, it's still gonna look good.
Right.
So what's the difference there? Is it simply that Cameron is such an obsessive and such an argumentative guy that he will not let something stand if it's shoddy, and it's like, nope, go in and fix it. That's not the way it should look. Fix it. That shouldn't look like that. Is it just a case that some directors, they go, yeah, that'll do, yeah? Because I don't get it. I don't get why some directors, no matter what the film they're doing, like the CGI looks great, and then other directors, no matter what film they've done, no matter what budget they're into, they do effects to it that just look shoddy. But
I think it's partly that. I think it's also part, like, honestly, I think some of the directors just don't have an eye for that sort of thing. They just leave it to they'll hire maybe loyal people that, you know, affects people that they really like personally. And they just won't really care about the quality of work that they do. And because they're not, maybe they just don't have a well-trained eye for it. There's like, yeah, just whatever you want to do it. And then we'll just throw it in. I don't know, you know?
It's just weird, question. Isn't it, though? It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my biggest downside is some of the effects work, and it's just like, oh man, that just looks so unfinished. But as for the story, I think it's got a really solid arc. The reason for bringing the different characters in from the multiverse and that, it's good, solid reasons. having Batfleck in there obviously wins me over, and then having like Michael Keaton in there, like, man, I
Hmm.
so would, if I could have any movie, and I know some people would probably think that I would instantly gravitate towards it, another Nolan Batman, but because Nolan's Batman trilogy just wrapped up so well, I kind of almost don't want it to be touched. I'm like, I'd be nervous about them coming
Hmm.
back and doing it. I would kill for another Burton Keaton Batman
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like I just and you know I've been waiting, had been waiting for Keaton to come back as Batman. Well, for 30 years, you know those two Batman films that he did were so formative in my life. So when they announced he was coming back,
Yeah.
like every scene that he's in this film, I am in my element. Like I don't
Hmm.
care. Everything around me just dissolves because I'm like, that's Keaton, that's Batman, and he's back on screen. And it's
Right.
just like, man, just yeah, covers over a multitude of sins, I think.
Mm.
But I've seen it 3 times now, and yeah, I do really enjoy it. I know it's not a perfect film, especially the effects work, but I think some of the emotional beats in it do actually hit quite hard. The bit towards the end when he realizes he's got to put things right, and he corrects the mistake he made with his mum, but time slowed down so he can see his
Yeah.
mum. He's right there. He can reach out and touch her, but he knows that he's got to let her go. I just, yeah, I think it gets those things really right. Just, yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just wish the effects work was good.
Yeah. If you would have told me 10 years ago that Keaton would come back to play Batman, I wouldn't have believed you. I mean, that was shocking when I heard and saw that he came back. So yeah, that he's definitely the strongest part of the film for me. Number 10 for me, it's gonna probably crush Brian. I know it crushed me watching it back this time, but my number 10 is Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition. Gave it 3.5 out of 5. Uh, okay, I'll say I do love this film. I
Wasn't
love
this a 5 for you at one point?
yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
Okay. I'm
It's
not
you know
judging. I'm the guy who gave just Justice League a 5, so I
yeah,
can't
no,
judge.
it's fine because I part of me still wants to give it a 5. I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I really, really do. I mean, the first time I saw this, even though it was in the theatrical version, obviously, I still just loved Ben Affleck's Batman. Like when I see him on screen in that bat suit, that is Batman from the comics for me. Like that is who he is. Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, like that's Batman for me. So I love Affleck as Batman in the film. I love Henry Cavill as Superman in the film. Amy Adams, always good. Um, Jeremy Irons is good. Like there's, and this is still a very good film. It's 3.5 out of 5, and that's a very good film for me. For me, though, watching it back, I've intentionally overlooked, not overlooked. I've intentionally forgiven flaws with this film that I have known are there in the past. But coming back to it this time with my set of criteria, like I can't it finally comes to a point where I have to acknowledge, like, yes, this film is flawed in certain ways, and I'm intentionally having to overlook those flaws in order to love this film to a 5-star tier level. But I do think this film has some issues. It's trying to do a lot of different things. Like very ambitious. I give Snyder that very ambitious film. It's going for scope. It's going for magnitude. But it's tackling a number of different themes and has a lot in the intent of story and characters and what it's trying to do. I just don't know that they all land for me. I think a lot of the plots are shallow. They're presented, but then they're not flushed out all the way. And for me, when I watched it this time, I was like, yeah, they probably could have delved more into that subplot. They probably could have done that a little bit more. I think that uh, also, although I do think Snyder does a very good job with visual effects, one thing I've never been keen on is the look of Doomsday. To me, he's just way too big for one.
Mm.
But I also just didn't quite care for the design of Doomsday in this film. I think Lex Luthor is played more as a symbol than an actual functioning character throughout the film. He symbolizes more than he actually functions in the film. Where another issue for me was like Batman, he's already broken when we're introduced to him. He's past the point of no return. He's just kind of given up on his moral line that he won't cross. But he kind of just stays in that until he's not anymore, and we don't really see the weight or the consequences morally or psychologically for Bruce of that. He's just kind of in it, and then he fights Superman, and now he's not in it anymore. There's not that transition of redemption in Bruce isn't fleshed out. It happens too quick. And for me, for Batman being top billing in this film, you need to flush through that a little bit more for me, in my opinion. But still a film that I really enjoy. Much better than the theatrical cut. It is coherent. It has a clear story, and that you can understand and follow through. I just feel like they get a little too lost in scope and magnitude, and they kind of overlook some of these smaller details that work against some of the characters and story functioning for me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on BVS at my number 10. I know Brian's probably going to have a lot to say about that when he gets to it for him, but his number 9 is Justice League Snyder version, baby. And obviously for Brian, this is a 5-star film, which means everything above this will also be a 5 out of 5. So yeah, Brian, why do you hate Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Oh man, so so this was at least 2 places higher last time I did a Batman ranking. I think it may have even been, it could have been 3 or 4 places higher actually, because
I think so. Yeah,
I think I had it even higher than BVS as well.
Yeah, I think you had it 5 or 6 last time.
Yeah. I think my ranking with these films can fluctuate big time. Everything after my top 4 choices can fluctuate. Particularly my 5, 6, 7, and 8 position.
Yeah,
it's just like. But I mean, like I say, I gave it 5 stars. What more do you want?
Right.
It's just a lot of it just comes down to like, I'll say this much: if I reviewed films using the same criteria that you've recently come to use, I would probably give this a 4.
Interesting that you say that.
Same with BVS, the Ultimate Edition of BVS. I would probably give it 4. But and we were talking about this with Jack as well, and Jack's got his thoughts on it. I land somewhere between you and Jack, really, in that, for me, how a film makes me feel has a bigger impact on my final score than how well made it is.
Mm.
I've said this before. It's my go-to example. Poor Things by
Yeah.
Yorgos Lanthimos. I look at that film, and on every technical level, I'm like, yeah, I can't argue against that movie in the sense of
Mm.
how well made it is. It's a very well made film. In every single department, people that were making that film were on the top of the game. But I don't want to feel the way that film makes me feel. I don't like
Yeah.
it. I don't agree with its outlook. And the way that it tries to make me look at things in the way that it does, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I have no compulsion to watch it again. So you can see there that like my score of that is very heavily influenced by the feelings I get once I walk away from it.
Right.
And with both this film and BVS, it mostly comes down to, yeah, those feelings, that experience of, yeah, I can see there's issues here, and I can
Mm.
see how for a casual Batman fan or a non-essential Batman fan, they'd be like, yeah, those issues are really big issues. Whereas for me, the experience of so many issues, the score, I mean, more so with BVS, but the score for, even that Junkie XL comes up with,
Mm.
like for a lot of it, it's quite a rousing, fist pumping score, and I just, I love the cinematography. I think it's shot absolutely beautifully. I love the epic scope that it brings to a film that's essentially about gods among men.
Yeah.
It just, I think with the Zack Snyder's Justice League, I feel like it should have ended when Superman pulls open his shirt.
Yep.
We get the S, boom, out we go. The prologue that he films, or the
Mm.
epilogue, is it? Epilogue.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been on the DVD as a special feature. It's like,
Mm.
look where we could go, so that the film remains untouched and is capped off nicely, so that if we didn't get another one, then that's fine. We've
Yeah.
got a nice ending. It ends properly. We don't need any foresight into the future about it. But if you want to see an idea of where he would have gone, then we've got this deleted stuff on the disc. That's how it
Right.
should have been, I think, personally. But yeah, I like how Batman builds the team, I like how he brings them together. I love each of the characters. I think such a better job is done here than what was done with Justice League in making you care for each one of them. Each one of
Yes.
them has a point in being there. And I know that, there's the scene where Superman kind of, when Flash is going super speed and Superman looks, and it's almost like it's saying Superman's as fast as the Flash. But in
Yeah.
that moment, Flash isn't pushing himself.
Right.
And it's by the end of the film, he pushes himself. And he is
Mm.
fast. He is the fastest man alive. He is faster than Superman. When he knows that the whole
Mm.
world depends on it and he's got to push himself beyond his limits, that's when he starts reversing time, and he
Well,
is
yeah,
faster than
he
Superman.
even says, like, in that scene, like,
Mm.
you have to run Barry faster than you've ever ran before. So
Mhm.
clearly he's moving faster at that point than he
Yeah.
was when he was
Yeah.
having his encounter with
Yeah.
Superman.
And it,
Um,
it makes him a vital member of the team because
right,
he's doing the one thing no one else, not even Superman, can do on that team. And
right.
it's like, if you look at each member of them, each member of the team, they're all a vital member. They all bring something that gets them
Mhm.
what they need at the end of the day. I would say out of all of them, if there was anyone who brings that less so, I would say it's probably Aquaman.
Mhm.
But I just, yeah.
I even
I,
think Aquaman has good moments in the film,
mm, yeah.
especially just symbolically, the way
Mm,
Snyder shoots a couple of his scenes is telling you something important about Arthur without being an
yeah.
exposition dump. It's showing you something special about him,
Mm.
which I thought was really good.
Yeah, and I just think seeing Batman in particular put this team together, and seeing how he's grown from the previous film, and how he's trying to correct his mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah, it, I just think it's great. I if I'm being honest, I would say that BVS is more flawed than this film. Like if I was just reviewing purely based on the merits of how well certain things are done, I think
yeah,
I think Justice League is a better film than BVS. But again, the subjective nature of what of watching and how things
right.
make me feel, and what I'm more inclined to go back to, it just always comes down to BVS. I'm more inclined to want to stick BVS in again, despite the fact that it's a more flawed film. So
Granted, it is, an hour and a half shorter, so which is crazy because BBS, even the extended cut, is not
yeah,
a short film, but compared
yeah,
to Snyder's Justice League,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, all right, my number 9 is certain to piss Brian off, but it is The Dark Knight Rises. I gave a 3.5. Just came down a little bit for me, not much, but I think with Brian shaking his head, I do think with kind of my new formula for rating films. Again, this is one of those films where I've intentionally had to forgive a number of issues in this film for me. I think one issue that has never really landed for me with Rises is Bruce's recovery in the second half. So we're introduced to Bruce, he's got this leg problem. He's got no cartridge in his cartilage in his leg, in his knee. He's on a cane, and there's been 8 years since the events of the Dark Knight, and he hasn't recovered. But then he gets his back broken, snapped in half by Bane, thrown in this prison, no money for doctors, none of that stuff. All that stuff's gone. All his resources are gone. And yet he recovers in a couple of months. And now he's good to go fight Bane again. Like, to me, I've never been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, to me, it's just like, okay, why did it take him 8 years to recover from a leg injury, but his back injury, which is far more significant as someone who has back problems, he heals up and he's ready to go in a couple of months.
Well, he's not had the leg injury for 8 years. It's been 8 years since the events of the Dark Knight. He's he was still going for a little bit after there, but then he went into seclusion. So we don't
Right.
know when he got the leg injury.
But he's still like he's still at that point. He has all his money. He could have been seeing a doctor. He could have been recovering from this knee issue.
But I feel like the film does a pretty good job of explaining the fact that it's not really about the injury. It's about his will. He's not. He doesn't. It's not really the leg that's keeping him out of action. That's just become a very good excuse.
Yeah.
It's his will, and that's really what the film is about. Is his will. Is his will. The thing that makes him Batman is not because it's not his money. It's not his gadgets. It's his will. It's the will to survive, and that's made in that jump, and that's what separates him from Bane. Because Bane ain't the one who ever made that jump.
Right.
Yet he does, and it's really tied into that moment of him of where his mind is. The psychology of Batman is what makes Batman Batman, and it's like when he shuts down, when he switches off, then that's when it's game over. But once he's back on, there ain't a man in the world who's got a will like his, and to me that's what the film's about. But
Right. And I'm with you on that, but the physical injuries are still clearly shown as like they're still taking effect. Like even when he puts the brace on, you can tell he's in pain. Like it's not just the mental, he thinks he's injured. Like he is clearly injured. I mean, even the x-rays show there's no cartilage in his knee. And then when he gets his back broken, that is a clear injury. And now he recovers in a much shorter span than he should have recovered from his knee injury or his back injury for that matter. And then he just Nolan is too smart for me, and he's grounded the two prior films too much in a realism type of tone for me to buy that those two halves of Batman make sense for me. And that's just been something that I've never been able to like fully get or make sense out of. And then the fact that, and I watched your review on it, and I do agree on the point of how Bruce gets back to Gotham. And in the sense of, we do know from Batman Begins and even The Dark Knight that he has resources throughout the world. I mean, he not only is he a genius, he's also a billionaire that can afford to have the right connections and stuff set up. But where I have to disconnect from him still getting back to Gotham is the fact that at the point when he gets out of the prison, he's completely broke. He has no money. So how is he going to afford to get connected to anybody to get him back to Gotham? And on top of that, we're asked to buy the fact that even though Gotham is now an island that Bane's made it into, that Batman still somehow gets back to Gotham without Bane noticing him getting back to Gotham.
See, I don't have any trouble with any of this, because we know from The Dark Knight that all the Batman stuff is off the books. You can't put that stuff through Wayne Enterprises. So if Wayne Enterprises goes under, that's Wayne Enterprises goes under. All the Bat tech is still in his possession. And he's got much of that kind of dotted around Gotham City and whatnot. Getting his hands on the tech ain't a problem for me. Getting into Gotham again, not a problem for me, because we know that he's got the Batwing. We know that he's fixed the autopilot thing on it. We know and we know that's pretty much a stealth kind of bird. So I just don't have a problem with it. It's like, it's like we're told as well in The Dark Knight that he lives not in. There's
right, not in the city limits.
He's in the Palisades, so it's not in the city limits. So I just feel like he gets there, he calls the Batwing, boom, he's in. He's under radar, whatever. I don't have a problem.
You're still running into the fact that Batman would be the number one person that Bane would be keeping an eye on, is not getting back to Gotham. So, and there's no way to it. Like the bridges are broken.
Bane says at the end, like it's an absolute surprise to Bane that Batman makes it. It's like, as far as he's concerned, he's left him for dead in the pit, and there's no way he's getting out of it. It's like, so if he's not been monitoring him, and he's not expecting him, he's not going to be looking out for him.
But the bat is so big, like such a big device. One of Bane's men, if not Bane, would have noticed it flying over Gotham, and that would have been an alert. Like, hey, why is this? Who's flying this? Obviously, the only person flying it would be Batman. And then
I just don't think there is a guarantee that it's black. If he comes in at night, very high up, I just don't think it's a given that someone's going to see it.
Yeah. The other thing that always makes me laugh though is, where did Bruce find the time to hang up these wires on the bridge and then light it up? Like, obviously Gotham is under lockdown. You're not going to waste your time setting that up. It's a cool scene. It's a
I do see the value in doing something like that, because and we see it with Bane in the way Bane reacts.
Mm.
It's a power play. It's a way of it says that I'm stronger than you. I'm back. And I'm coming for you, and it shakes Bane. It does actually shake it. It gets to him. You can see that it gets under his skin, because not only, you know what I mean. It's like a symbol. And it goes back to stuff that's laid out in Batman Begins about making Batman a symbol that you can't destroy and stuff. Well, Bane thinks he has destroyed him. As far as he's concerned, it's a done deal. And then boom, when that bat symbol, because it's not only about. It's a bit like old war tactics when you put people's heads on pikes. It sends out a message to the other side that we're coming for you. But not only that, it inspires the people who are looking to Batman as the guy to lead them, essentially. So when all the people who've lost hope in Gotham City see that, because Batman knows that that's Bane's prime objective, because he tells him as much. He says when your city's lost hope, and it's tearing itself apart, that then you have my permission to die, and all that whole speech that he gives. So by Batman doing that thing, it does seem like it can. If you don't look at it properly, it can just seem like, why would you bother doing that? That's ridiculous. But it's got so many different levels to it, instilling fear in your enemies and inspiring the people who've lost hope. And you know that they were going to lose hope because Bane literally told you that was his agenda. I'm going to make this city lose hope. So when he rocks up and puts that bat symbol on there, that gets everyone going, yeah, come on. So,
right. Yeah. It's just, for me, it's just one of those films that has a few things that are too big of an ask. I do love Tom Hardy as Bane. To me, like, that is my favorite version of Bane. I know a lot of people don't like his voice or the mask. I love that. I think it makes him powerful. It makes him intimidating. Gives him character.
My second favorite movie villain. If I was to do a top 10 movie villains of all time, not just Batman movie villains, but movie villains, that'd be my number 2. So obviously, that Heath Ledger's Joker's my number 1. But
right, no, I still love this movie. It's still got a lot, obviously, much more positives than negatives for me. Still a film that I do thoroughly enjoy. And I definitely don't think it's as bad as some people that I've heard want to make it out to be. But yeah, that's my number 9. We'll get to Brian's number 8, which is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. Of course, 5 out of 5. And yeah, we've kind of, I mean, I've given my thoughts on it, but I'll let Brian give his thoughts on it.
For me, it's primarily that this is a Batman movie first and foremost. And what a Batman! Like, just man, just the crap that Ben Affleck took in the lead up to this, and never has anyone in film proved people wrong more than Ben Affleck did with this. It's just like, people came out of this movie saying, out of anything that might be wrong with that film, the least wrong with it is Ben Affleck as Batman. He nailed it. Yeah, I mean, that warehouse fight, I can watch that again and again, man. I just look forward to it every time.
It's so good.
So good.
So good.
Is it a bit bloated? Is there way too much stuff going on? Yeah, but I am never bored. I'm never bored. I've never once been bored watching this movie. Even the longer cut. I just, yeah. I think they could have lost Doomsday, and I think once Batman and Superman kind of, when Batman puts down the spear, and they kind of realize, okay, we're actually on the same team here, then I think Superman should have gone to Lex, and then they could have had a little thing between them where all of a sudden the tables are turned. Superman now has the power. Lex's power is gone. but he has to kind of hold off for a bit, wait till Batman's kind of phones in, so to speak. So Batman
Right.
goes and does the warehouse thing, cleans up, saves his mum, says, "Right, you're good to go," and then that's when Superman comes in, deals with Lex. They have a
Yeah.
bit more of a war of words and whatnot. I'd leave it there. I think
Yeah.
that's your ending. But obviously they went, "Oh, we're going to do Doomsday as well." So,
Right.
okay, but,
All
all
right, here
right.
we go.
It's like that. The movie's kicking off again. It's like
Yeah.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, 20 endings.
Right. Yeah.
But I just I enjoy it. I just that
Yeah.
there's not a moment that I'm not enjoying it. And I could just have it, just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the score for this is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
So many bits, like just the track, like "Do You Bleed," phenomenal.
Hmm.
The opening track, "A Beautiful Lie," which they actually reused in Wonder Woman 1984, which was a bit bizarre that they
Yeah.
used it because it's literally Batman's track.
Yeah.
It's the theme that's used in the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents, and so
Right.
it's very much Bruce Wayne's score. That piece of score was for Bruce Wayne, so it was
Yeah.
always a bit weird that they kind of used it at the end of Wonder Woman 1984, a movie that I still really appreciate actually. But
Mm.
yeah, the score's phenomenal. The cinematography by Larry Fong is phenomenal. Um, I love the casting on all fronts. Yes, even Lex Luthor. You just when you've seen so many iterations on something, you've got to do something different. And I
Right.
like what they went for here. It makes sense to me that Lex Luthor would be this kind of, you know,
Hmm.
Steve Jobs, the guy who did the Facebook, that
Oh, right. Right.
Eisenberg even
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
in Social Network. It makes sense to me that it would be that kind of guy. If you got a rich guy in this
Right.
day and age, it makes sense that he would resemble what Lex Luthor looks like in this film. So
Yeah.
I never had a problem with that. Yeah, I just enjoy it. I get there's things about the script that maybe could have been fleshed out a bit more.
Mm.
I definitely think the Martha thing could have been fleshed out a little bit
Sure.
more.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still think it works, but I think there's a couple of things they could have done just to really cement why it works. So I get why some people have a problem with that, but
Yeah. I think it works narratively. I don't think it
mm,
works thematically. So, but yeah, that's one of those issues that when people bring it up, I'm like, I get it, but I also think it does serve a purpose, and it does work as far as bringing Bruce back to his humanity and reconnecting him with his moral compass and code again. But yeah, um, good stuff. My number eight uh, is Batman 1989, which I gave a 4 out of 5. I do think this is a great film. It is not just nostalgia talking. I think it's a great film. I think that Burton executes the intent that he was going for, what he was trying to do. You can tell an artistic style is there. I think the actors play the role that's on the script very well. They're entertaining. I love the score by Danny Elfman is so iconic. Still love the score. I love the gothic look and tone that Burton has here. Very quotable, very memorable. A lot of great dialogue in the film as well. I think it moves along pretty good. I don't have any problems with the pacing in it. And I do think Nicholson set the bar pretty high for Joker for a number of years that followed. Um, and he obviously to a lot of people is the standout and kind of steals the show. To me, that's not really criticism for me. And my pushback on that criticism is, look, when any film, I don't care if it's animation, if it's live action, any film where you're going to feature the Joker, naturally, because of who that character is, he's going to be the standout. Like, it's just who that the personality is so large, so charismatic. He's going to be the standout. It's not a criticism of the film. It's who that character is. Mark Hamill, in every episode of the Batman animated series with the Joker's the standout. When Heath Ledger, he's the standout of the Dark Knight. Obviously Joaquin didn't have Batman in his Joker movie, but like, even if Batman was in there, Joker would probably still be the standout. It's just it's part of who that character is. It's not a criticism. It's not intentionally the director necessarily trying to say, let's make this movie all about the Joker and not Batman. No, it's just, if you know the character, that's who the character is. He's a very animated, charismatic, very large personality that's going to dominate the screen regardless. And that's one reason we love him. That's one thing we love about that character. So I don't have a problem with Nicholson being the standout in this film. I don't think he just like vastly outshines Batman. I think Batman still plays a very important part in this film. I do have some issues. I do think that even in the script, not necessarily in Keaton's performance, but I do think the script forces Batman to be more reactionary rather than driving the plot. I think Joker drives the plot more with what he's doing in the chaos and the crime that he's committing. Batman is having to react to that along the way versus being the driving force throughout the film. And I think there's a couple of other side characters that I don't think fully get flushed out. Knox being one of them, although the performance is good. If you take the character out of the script, nothing really changes with the plot. He doesn't really affect Bruce or the Joker's ideology. He doesn't really affect their psychology at all. They don't really change if he's taken out of the film. So I don't want to necessarily say he's a wasted character, because the performance still adds entertainment to the experience. But on a script writing level, I do think you could take him out and nothing really changes. So I think they could have done a little better job there.
I think he's more of a bridging character. He's someone that other characters can bounce off in order to get information to us. So without having him, we'd probably have a lot of scenes of Vicky Vale just checking computer screens and finding information that way. By having those two together, it makes it more relatable, and they're able to give him pieces of information that we need as the audience,
sure,
but through a more entertaining means.
Right.
Like, seeing the two of them go into the weapons room and chatting, oh, what's this? He must have been king of the Wicker people.
Right.
It gets us into a place which then, because of how they're able to bounce off of each other, it gives us information in a much more entertaining way. So we don't feel like we're just being, here's some more exposition.
Right.
Because a lot of the scenes with Alexander Knox in ultimately lead to exposition.
Yes.
And he having him there hides the fact that we're getting exposition.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think he does provide entertainment, but from a plot developing standpoint, when you think like there's not really anything where he directly affects the plot. Like, his most significant role in that regards would be him revealing to Vicky Vale that Bruce's parents died, but that's not the only way that she could have found that out. So even that little scene doesn't directly affect the overall plot. You know what I mean?
It's not, but again, like I say, it that interaction, having it play out the way it does, like the fact that she just goes off and he's like, Vale, don't get personal.
Right.
And it's like, it really shows that it's got to her. It shows that, it's just, I think we would lose something if he wasn't there. And it's not
Sure.
again, and I think you're right. It's not a plot thing. It's we could get all the same details, but through different methods. But I
Right.
just think by having him there, it makes those
Absolutely.
expositional moments more human as a result.
More entertaining for sure. What's up, Dom? Let's drop it in. Say what's up.
Hey.
That was my number 8. So we're on to Brian's number 7. He has Batman Mask of the Phantasm, 5 out of 5. I'm glad that you gave that a 5 out of 5. So and obviously I haven't got to it yet. So it's pretty high up for me, but I'll let Brian talk about it first.
I just I seem to recall the last time we talked about this, it wasn't quite as high up for you. So
we will ignore that.
Yeah. All right. I'm aware of the time. I've got to get my daughter to bed in about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna try and speed it up. But
Gotcha.
just I mean, at this point in my life, when when Mask of the Phantasm came out, Batman the Animated Series was just everything to me. It was the be all and end all. Like that and the X-Files were the two shows that I just watched religiously, and I must have seen every episode of Batman the Animated Series so many times. And then when it was announced, I remember it being announced it was a Saturday morning show that it was like a kids magazine type show, and Batman the Animated Series used to play on that, and they announced, so the movie's coming out this, and I went, what movie?
Yeah.
I was like, and we're going to be showing you the trailer at the end of the show, and I'm, what?
You're like Kara when you called her name earlier.
Yeah, I just watched the whole of that thing because I had to see that trailer, and they showed the clip of the Joker when he's like, hello operator, I think my party's been disconnected. So it's like, so I remember seeing that. I've got to watch this at the cinema. Now, unfortunately, it didn't come on at the cinema anywhere near us, and I was just like, I was livid. But it came out on video pretty quick, so I was like, day one, I bought it, got it home, and watched it, and I was just like, man, that is so good. It's so
it really
good.
Is.
Like, the beauty of it is that it's all about Bruce. It's all about Batman. It's not a villain story with Batman in it, like every Batman movie that had been out at that point.
Right.
No, this was centered on Bruce. It showed you how he became Batman, went into the psychology of it, and it gets under his skin. You feel like you know him more. Just some actually really emotional moments in it, and you got to remember this is an animated thing. It's like just like, I mean, these days animated movies are pretty good at bringing the emotional kind of stuff, but up to that point we had Disney and that was it. Like other than that, stuff was just cartoons, but this just took the character seriously, brought in a new villain that we'd never had before, that was a worthy villain, that was really good, in its own right, had really strong character motivations and stuff, and great ties to Bruce. And the animation's fantastic. It's it's obviously it's in the same style as the animated series, but it's just crisper, it's cleaner, it moves a lot smoother. And Mark Hamill's Joker in it,
so good.
So good. And they push the bar a bit, they kill people in it. Some of the gangsters get killed and stuff, and that one with the tombstone where it's I just like, ooh.
They do.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. My number 7 is, we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I gave a 4 out of 5. Came down a little bit from my 5. Basically, issues for reasons I've talked about, having to intentionally overlook and forgive certain flaws with the film. But Realistically, I think it properly lands here at a 4 out of 5. That's why I said interesting when you said if you were putting that Phantom aside, that you would rate it like a 4 out of 5, because that's exactly where what I gave it. I do think this is an incredibly ambitious film. I mean, outside of The Dark Knight Rises, um, because keep in mind, I believe Snyder was actually making this. I mean, obviously it was finally released in 2021, but he was making it, I'm pretty sure, before or at least around the same time Infinity War and Endgame were being made. Um, Regardless, this is, other than The Dark Knight Rises, there had not really been any superhero epics before, epic scale films. So for Snyder to go here, it's an incredibly ambitious film, and stretching it out as long as he did, very daring. I mean, 4 hours. If you're not a good director, you can't manage that pacing and that runtime. It is very easy to lose your audience in a 4 hour film. I mean, you have to know pacing, you have to know timing, structure, stuff like that. And he does. I mean, he nails it. Every time I've seen this, it's never felt like a 4 hour film, because I'm very much invested along the way. There are a few structural issues. I agree with Brian. I think that that last epilogue, when I watched it this time, I actually watched that. I fast forward, or I not fast forward. I skipped to it, watched that epilogue first, and then I watched the starting with chapter one. And I actually think it worked a lot better that route, because it makes you see what's coming. And then if you go back and you watch how it gets to that point, I actually think it structurally, the epilogue would have worked better in the beginning, or take removed altogether. But if you're going to put it in, I think it worked better in the beginning as well. But a few character flaws for me, not necessarily like I've heard someone critique the film because he's saying that the characters were really shallow. My response to that is, it's not what this film's trying to be. It's not a character drama. It's not about arcing every character. You have to view a film on its own terms and not grade every film the same. You know, this is not trying to be what The Godfather is. This was not trying to be what other films have tried to be. This is more focused on the story, the scope, and the threat, the global threat that Darkseid poses. That's the focus of the film. That's the intent here. And it's to tell a story of these heroes in a mythological, epic type of way, which is the purpose of all the slow motion scenes. I've heard a lot of people critique it for having too many slow motion moments, but those are there for a reason, because Snyder's shooting it in a way where those characters and those heroes look almost like a painting of Greek gods or ancient deities, and it's part of that mythology that is in the genre that Snyder's making. So I think it serves a purpose. Overall, a great film. I do still love it, but I think there's just a few structural issues there that do keep it down some for me. But that's my number 7. We'll get to Brian's number 6, which is a film I already talked about. He's got Batman 1989, of course, 5 out of 5. I know you love this film, Brian. Do you have any specific rebuttals to my issues, or anything that specifically that you want to address?
I just, it's so easy to forget what the impact this film had. Like, because we have absolutely no shortage of superhero movies today. It's just, but before this, you had Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Anything else that you could think of was not good.
Right.
Not good at all. You know, you think like Swamp Thing and that kind of, that kind of ilk. Not good stuff. Not good
Mm-mm.
stuff out there at all. Like superhero movies were an absolute joke. It was just for kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a no go. This came along, changed changed cinema really
Yeah.
when you think about it, because everybody wanted, we want that. What they just did with Batman there, we need to get there. And then all of a sudden you had a slew of superhero movies that didn't hit the mark. The Phantom, the
Right.
Shadow. There's a few, and because of that, it kind of started looking a bit. Yeah, we're not going. And the Crow. We got the Crow as well. That was one of the good
Yeah.
ones. So it was kind of in limbo. Superhero movies were in limbo. You had a Batman movie every few years, but that was really it. And every
Mm.
other thing that came out, like Spawn, it was just like, oh man, it seems like only
Yeah.
Batman's the only character. And then all of a sudden, obviously, X-Men and Spider-Man, and then we're
Right.
off to the races. But before that, yeah, this movie was just a groundbreaker.
Yeah.
And I watched it. It was my introduction to Batman. It was the first thing I watched that boom, I became a Batman fan there and then. And it was the Christmas of 1991, and it aired on TV, ITV, for the first time in the
Mm.
UK on Christmas Day 1991. I recorded it on the TV as it was playing, watched it as well as it was recording, and that's it. I was
Yeah.
bitten. I had
Rest
the
is
bug.
history.
The rest is history. And I watched this movie nearly every day. That was my routine. I came home from school and I watched either Highlander, Critters, or Batman. But like I'd been watching Highlander and Critters a lot up till Christmas '91. So one after Christmas Day 1991,
Yeah.
this pretty much became I'd come home from school, be Batman.
Mm.
Occasionally I'd go back to Critters or Highlander, but Batman. I think it's
Yeah.
Batman again today. Oh, and Batman again.
Yeah.
I I reckon it between Christmas '91 and up to the release the following year of Batman Returns, I must have seen this film about 50 to 60 times.
Wow.
Easy. I just,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good, man.
It was
I love
ingrained.
it.
If you'd have got like 12-year-old me and just asked me, can you quote the film just from start to finish? I'd have done it.
Yeah.
Literally every single line of dialogue I could, because the movie was just in there. I'd seen it so
Yeah.
many times. I
Yeah.
could just play the entire movie for you and just say every line of dialogue out loud.
Yeah. I love it.
So I think having watched a movie that many times does dull some of the impact.
Sure.
So well, I hadn't watched it since I reviewed it on my channel, which was a few years ago now. Because
Mhm.
it is that thing where it's like I have seen it so many times, I don't need to
Right.
watch it again. I still love it, I always will, but I don't need to watch it again. But I watched
Right.
it again this time around, for this thing, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? I still love it.
Yeah.
I like when I watch it, I'm right back in my bedroom, 11 years old,
Mhm.
1991, watching it for the first time, and it changed my life. And it's just like,
I love it.
I
Great
love it.
stuff.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir. My number 6 film we talked about, Lego Batman, gave a 4 out of 5. Won't get too much into it because Brian's already said a lot about it. Great film. Knows exactly what it's trying to be. Hits it, lands it. Just great comedy. It's a great way of telling a Batman story in a comedic way while also doing the character justice and not just making a total joke out of the character. You're not laughing at the characters necessarily, you're laughing with them. It's not making a joke out of the characters. It's telling a story in a comedic way. And I think it works really well. I love the voice acting with the guy's name who voices Batman. I think he
Will
does a really
Arnett.
good job
Yeah.
in it. Structurally, I think it's really well put together. It's got a clear arc for Bruce, going from a guy who's lonely, it doesn't trust anyone. He's afraid of opening up and letting people in until, and then the arc is by the end, he's finally accepting people and allowing himself to open up to others again. And I think that's really well done. What keeps this film a little bit down for me is, I think, by its own genre, it kind of caps the ceiling for me, because it's one of those things that the jokes and the humor is only gonna work for so long. I don't know, like, if you told this story in a different genre, I think it could be told just as good, if not better. So I think it kind of caps the ceiling on it by the animated comedic genre that it's putting itself in. But outside of that, I mean, I don't really have much issues with the film. It works. It's funny. I love the creativity of the concept. And thought it really worked. Got a lot of good laughs out of me this last time around. So I really enjoy Lego Batman movie. Brian's number 5, we have Batman Returns at number 5. Yes, sir. I know this hasn't changed. I know Brian's a big fan, so I'll let him talk about Returns.
I love that poster. It's one of my favorite posters, and I actually have the original cinema poster, the one sheet of it, and I'd love to get it framed.
It's a great poster.
It's only a floating heads poster, but it's just something about the way that it's framed. The colors on it. It's almost like a black and white movie, but yeah. So I've just told you the impact that the '89 Batman movie had of me in Christmas '91. So I knew Batman Returns was coming that year, and I was so ready for it. I was just like, it was the first time that I'd ever been looking at the cinema kind of listings and waiting, had a date. It was the first time that I had a cinema date, booked kind of thing. Like, when that comes out, I am so going to see it.
Yeah.
It's like, back then, at that age, we didn't have the internet, things like that. It was like, you just, whatever you see on the TV that gets advertised, that's when you get interest. But it was mostly just rock up at the cinema, see what's on. There you go. This was the first film at a cinema where I knew in advance it was coming, and I could not wait. And again, I just love it. It's definitely a lot of nostalgia here, but it's not just nostalgia. There's a reason I loved it so much, and it's like, is it faithful to the Batman comics? Well, to a degree, but obviously not to a very large degree. It's a Tim Burton film first and a Batman film second, but it's just the world that he creates. It's just one I want to exist in. I love it. I love that, that Batman and Catwoman up on rooftops just duking it out, and it's the snow. Just the snowy setting, the production design, the cinematography. I love it. I love the look of it. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, gold standard, just gold standard. Not the most faithful version of the character, and we've had this conversation in private. It's from the Batman. It's from Matt Reeves' Batman. Zoe Kravitz. She's the most faithful version I would say to the comic books, but best performance as Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer, all the way for me. I just what she brings, the way she goes into that, the psychology of Selena Kyle in this movie. Yeah, phenomenal. I think great performance, absolutely stunning performance. I just there's nothing about this film I don't like. It's because it's so formative. It was the film that made me want to become a director. Batman was the film that made me fall in love with comic books and Batman as a character. Batman Returns was the film that made me become a director. It was the film that made me notice a director's stamp on a movie, a director's voice, and just oh, oh, gone from his own channel. I have free reign. Yeah. So what's that? A lot of people I interacted with in the YouTube community, if not The Dark Knight, Batman Returns seems to be their favorite. Yeah, I absolutely adore Batman Returns. It was just so formative, even down to the music. Like I had a massive Susie and the Banshees phase back through the 90s, just because, yeah, they do a song at the end of this film, and it just made me a fan of them as a band. So for much of the 90s, I was listening to Susie and the Banshees just because of Batman Returns. And because I got into the Susie and the Banshees as a result of Batman Returns, I actually wrote my first feature-length screenplay based on a Susie and the Banshees song. So that's what I mean with like the impact this film had on my life. I wouldn't have written my first script if not for Batman Returns. So yeah, big deal in my life. And again, going back to it again, like in recent years, I've dropped it like a half star. Can I really say it's a 5-star film? There's a lot of people, and you kind of get won over by people's arguments, or just maybe the film gets less than fair. And I watched it this time around, and I was just like, you know what? I don't care what people say. I adore it. I adore this film. I love every minute of it. I've seen it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many times. I've seen it over 100. I know it's over 100 times. Which probably sounds insane to some people, but I've seen those first two Batman films over 100 times. I know it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I apologize about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty there on my end, but I think we've got it back in action here. We're getting through these pretty quick, so we'll just keep discussing it for a little bit more, because my number 5 is also Batman Returns. This one has gone up for me.
I was so glad to see that.
This has gone up, and I was messaging Brian as I was watching this movie. Like this film really is good. Like a lot of the issues I had watching this growing up have kind of gone away. You have to view this film as a fairy tale, because that's really what it is. Yes, it's a sequel, but it's also a fairy tale, and it's functioning in a fairy tale type of world, a very gothic, somber fairy tale story. And I think that it really works in that, because, you know, the directing here, I mean, Burton directs his ass off in this film. I mean, it's an incredibly directed film. The production design, the score, I mean, he just takes those to the next level. The performances all are very committed, are very transformative, especially Danny DeVito as Penguin really transforms, you know, into that, you know, that character, that version of the Penguin, which is not for everybody.
He got a Razzie. Can't believe he got a
That's
Razzie.
so stupid,
That's
man.
Absolutely pathetic.
I mean, is so insulting to DeVito for what he did. But it's, you know, I get it. Again, if that version is not for you, I can respect that. But the performance is absolutely committed, absolutely transformative. He's in Burton's world and he plays on key, and it's a very good performance. Keaton, I actually think even takes a step up in his performance in Batman from the first one. He adds more nuances to the character. I think he gets to show some more depth in the character on both Bruce and Batman. I just think it's a great film, and Michelle Pfeiffer obviously is, to me. And I was even messaging Brian as I was watching it. She's a standout, man. She is an incredible in this film. I mean, the layers and the range that she has to pull off all the different versions of this character, and she nails all of them flawlessly. To me, this is a kind of similar to what we were discussing with favorite Batman, where I think that Bale is the best Batman actor and is given the best performance, but Affleck is the best Batman, in my opinion. I kind of have the same thought with Catwoman. I think, although Zoe Kravitz to me is the best Catwoman on screen, faithful, true. When I think of Catwoman, I think of that. Michelle Pfeiffer absolutely is the best actor that has played Catwoman and has given the best performance from on an acting level of that character. So it's a great film. When you see it on its own terms, I think it absolutely works. And it's great. Sean Sheridan says Return is a 4-star movie, but the only 5-star Batman movies for me are The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I can respect that. Both are bangers. Obviously, Brian and I still haven't got to them, so they're still higher for us. Brian's number 4 is this guy, the newbie. It's not new anymore. It's been 4 years since this one came out, which is crazy. I don't know if we'll ever get the sequel. Just driving me crazy. All the delays on that thing. But I'll let Brian talk about the Batman.
Phenomenal. It's like,
great stuff.
Mean, we're in my top 4 now. It's just like literally these top 4 are in my top 20 movies of all time. So they're actually in my top 15. I think. Did the Batman just go into my number 10 position? It may have done.
It should. It should be.
So, look, literally, you can put these films in whatever order you want. You're not going to hear any grumbles from me. My top 4, you put them in any order you want. I'm not going to argue because I think in terms of faithfulness to the comic book world, this really takes me into like. Yeah, just like a late 90s, early 90s kind of Gotham in the comic books. Reeves has nailed that world big time. Yeah. Absolutely big time. There's a couple of things. If I was getting like proper nitpicky and really like kind of trying to, just review it on that level. I would say there's a couple of things in it, like all the people who complained about Batfleck killing and all that. You look at the chase scene in the Batmobile when he's going after the Penguin. I'm sorry, but it's a complete disrespect for life on that road. When he's just so hell bent on getting the Penguin that like Batman in the comic books would pull back and say there's too many lives being risked right here, right now. I'll catch him later. But no, he's flooring it. Trucks are falling over. And it's just like, people complain about Batfleck killing. And yet I've not heard anyone complain about that scene in the Batman where there's such a disregard for human life coming from Batman himself. Just for the sake of getting his quarry. It's like, whatever.
Like, I don't really hear that criticism with Burton's Batman, yet Burton's Batman clearly killed people, and I mean in both films. So he was straight up trying to kill the Joker and did kill the Joker. But Yeah, great stuff. And I'll bite my tongue because I haven't gotten to the Batman yet, but yeah, it really is a great film.
Mhm.
Um, my number 4 is Batman Begins. 2005, gave it 4.5 out of 5. I mean, it's a great film, man. Uh, it revived, saved Batman from the clutches of death after Batman and Robin and that all that nonsense. Nolan just took it in a completely different direction, revived it, saved it, did an origin story in a non-linear fashion, also very daring and ambitious. And it's just a great film. I mean, the world of Gotham, the performances by everyone are on key. I love Christian Bale. His emotional arc in the film is expertly acted and well earned. That's the big thing for me. It's earned in the film. You see how he is in the beginning when he's just pissed off at the world, just is out for vengeance, and learns the lesson of that, and learns the importance of justice over vengeance. And when by the end, when he tells Rachel that you were right, I was a selfish kid with an anger issue, and justice is about more than vengeance. Like, that is an earned victory, emotional victory for Bruce. And I love the origin story. Love the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul, all that stuff. Um, it's a couple things. They're minor, but I do think structurally, one issue that I would say with Begins is the it's more the philosophical discussion and plot between Batman and Ra's al Ghul. Batman is wanting to use fear to fight criminality in Gotham, and yet his victory over Ra's al Ghul, is not that. It ends up being more of a typical superhero fighting the bad guy movie at the end. Uh, Ra's al Ghul is not afraid of Batman. The all the criminals on the street are running rampant. They're not afraid of Batman. They're afraid of the toxin that Scarecrow is spreading out. But that philosophical discussion of, can fear be used to bring the city back around, isn't really paid off. It's more of just Batman beats Ra's al Ghul at the end, and Ra's al Ghul's whole thesis is Gotham is too far gone to be saved. But again, he also, that discussion isn't really paid off. So to me, it's like it doesn't quite end and connect fully structurally for me. That's this minor issue. That, and then the fight choreography is a little too quick and just a little too chaotic. I get why Nolan went that route. I get the logic there, but part of Batman, what I love and what so many people love about him, is his fighting skill. He's the best fighter on the planet. I want to see that play out, and we
Mhm.
don't really get to see it, just quick flashes here and there. But those are really my only two issues with the film. Other than that, I mean, it's phenomenal. So that was my number 4. Brian's number 3. If you're familiar with his channel, you know what's coming. Let me just bring him up here. We got Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, number 3. And should I just go ahead and show your
Yeah,
three,
do you
two,
want to just,
one?
yeah, 3, 2,
Yeah,
1,
three,
and
two,
I'll
one.
talk.
His
Yeah,
2 is Batman Begins, and of course his number 1. No surprise there, is The Dark Knight. So I'll let him
yeah.
talk about these 3 real quick, and then I'll wrap it up with my top 3.
It's it's my favorite trilogy of all time. I mean, I've talked about them ad nauseum. Even I get bored of hearing myself talk about them, to be honest, because yeah. But I just, I think what Nolan crafted was this really great trilogy that dealt with the themes of fear, chaos, and pain. And yeah, it was superhero in a post 9/11 world. What does that look like? Batman Begins. That's what it looked like, and then following that through to the logical conclusion, just of existing in this world, this grounded, gritty world that felt real, felt like it could exist, given enough money and resources. Somebody could actually, I love the process in Batman Begins where he's making the costume and the smashing the thing is, it's too brittle. It's like, just don't land on your head, sir. Then it's like, it's like we're gonna have to buy another like 2,000 of these so we don't look
right.
It just showing us the building of the character in a way that we'd never seen before, and that made it legit, made it legitimate. That this could be real. This could Dark Knight Rises in particular, we've already said, Bane, absolutely love the character. I also props to Anne Hathaway, who does an amazing Selina Kyle. That's it. I wasn't sure about her casting when she first got cast. I was like, okay, all right, I'll trust it because it's Nolan and see what he did with Ledger. So let's see. But that. Just everything from her introduction when she steals the necklace and then she kicks his stick out and dives out. That's Selina Kyle all the way. And then the scene in the bar where she's screaming because she's playing the victim and then instantly switches off and out she goes. That
was good.
Just phenomenal. It's the Catwomans are very hard to rank. I would say if I was ranking all the live action Catwomans, extremely hard. I'd find it pretty hard to rank Zoe Kravitz and Anne Hathaway, to be honest, because I think they both brought it in a pretty big way. I love that we got the burglar, the cat burglar aspect of Selina Kyle in The Dark Knight Rises. I think we get that in the Batman as well. I love it. I love the cinematography by Wally Pfister. I love the score by Hans Zimmer across the trilogy. It's not quite as strong in Batman Begins. When you actually listen to the score in isolation, it's a lot of just like noises kind of things. There's one track on there which is Molossus, which is like the proper Batman theme, which I really love. But The Dark Knight, Dark Knight is top 5 scores for me. It's the second best superhero movie score of all time after Man of Steel. I do think Hans Zimmer managed to top himself with Man of Steel, but not top himself.
right.
But and let's not forget James Newton Howard. I think a lot of people are very quick to point out Hans Zimmer's score for The Dark Knight, but it was actually Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, and I think you can definitely hear where James Newton Howard's score comes in for Two-Face. I think he did a lot of the work on the Two-Face and the Harvey Dent character. Whenever that score comes in, you can tell that's definitely Newton Howard there. But that their score, what they're doing on that score, complements each other so well. Phenomenal score, absolutely phenomenal. Like tracks like Agent of Chaos, like a dog chasing cars. That's probably the standout track there. But I mean, The Dark Knight. What? Never get tired of watching that movie, man. Like just the IMAX stuff in that, so phenomenal. Single greatest theatre experience I've ever had in a movie. I had to travel from where I worked at the cinema at the time, and I had to travel from there into Manchester. So from Warrington to Manchester should be like a 25-minute journey. Yeah. But I was off shift at 11:45, and the staff screening was a midnight showing.
Oh wow!
And I clocked off at 11:45. And I was in my seat 1 minute before midnight. I made it down the motorway in 11 minutes. It should not have taken 11 minutes.
No.
Somebody
was speeding.
Yes. There was no cars on the road that night. It was midnight, so it was very free. But
Yeah, the Flash push his car to the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, but the fact that I was in my seat 1 minute before the midnight showing, so I got there in 14 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, yeah, insane, insane. But I got in there, everyone's talking, there's lots of noise and stuff. And as soon as that Warner Brothers logo comes up and
Yeah.
the strings start
Yeah, yeah,
coming,
yeah. And just
you
that
know, and it's
opening.
like din din.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm,
quiet, absolute silence. Just like the audience was glued, I was glued. People only made a noise when it was appropriate to make a noise, like the pencil trick.
yeah.
Everyone was just laughing. It's like
Well,
it
that's
hit
brilliant
every.
directing because like
Mm,
Nolan forces your attention right away
mm,
with that score. So he doesn't
yeah.
allow you to get passive or any like no, right from
Mm,
the beginning that the score and that
yeah.
opening scene forces active viewing, paying attention, and then he just glues you
Mm.
all the way. So um I do love the villains. Bane is awesome. I don't quite hate for Talia al Ghul. She is a decent villain, 4-star movie, but it has issues. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
flawed,
I,
but
I
but
my biggest thing with the Dark Knight Rises is that I knew that was Talia
yeah, me
from the
too.
beginning. Um, I just think as a Batman fan, I'm like, that's Talia.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I know that's Talia.
right.
Um, and that's fine because I like the fact that they revealed, hey, it's Talia. So yes, it is Talia. So that's
Yeah,
good. Another true Batman villain.
right.
A lot of people kick up stink about the fact that Bane was just a lackey in the end. No, he wasn't. He was a 50-50 partner in what was going down. He was in love with her. We see in the comic books that he's in love with her. If you read the story Bane of the Demon, that again, like, that's Nolan taking stuff from the comic books, integrating it into the film. That's literally right out of Bane of the Demon, in which Bane gets all headstrong about the fact that, that's Talia, and part of that as well is because he knows that she fancies Batman. She's
Mm.
in love with Batman, and that gets him riled even more. But yeah, in the comic books, it's there. In the movie, it's there. I don't see it as Bane being a lackey. I see it as him being an equal partner in Gotham's destruction. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. My number three, I'll hit on a couple of these real quick because we've already talked about them. My number three, Mask of Phantasm, 4.5 out of 5. Great film. Near flawless, near perfect for me. I love that it denies the audience victory.
mm,
Batman is his plot. He essentially loses. You know, he is forced to give up his one exit. His
mm,
one exit is this girl, is this love that he has, and he is forced to make a decision, take the exit, and be happy, or stay Batman and fulfill your obligation. And he makes a tough call. So it denies that exit, and it also denies the audience closure. And I think that's brilliant because when you think about the ending, it doesn't really end on a happy note. Yes, Joker's beaten, but Bruce isn't. He's like he's still, he just has to accept the hands he's been dealt and this decisions he's made. And just from a storytelling standpoint, I think it's brilliantly executed. Just a couple of little quibbles here and there. I won't get into for the sake of time because I know Brian's got to get going. But yeah, overall, 4.5, great film. My number two and my number one, both 5 out of 5. Uh, but here's my number two, the Batman.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh,
yeah,
oh, oh,
yeah.
oh,
I know.
oh.
And my number one, the Dark Knight. Now, I'll just preface it by saying this: if you were to ask me between these two, which is your favorite, I would probably lean a little more towards the Batman, but if you're asking which is the better film, I'm going to lean more towards The Dark Knight. Both are 5 out of 5. Both are flawless in my opinion. Both have a clear intent that they both achieve masterfully. There's no real significant flaws for me in either one that weigh it down. Despite what I've heard some people say as far as criticisms about The Dark Knight, I actually don't think they hold up. I actually think The Dark Knight is a pretty flawless film. I think it's got the best script of the three. It's the most layered of the three plot wise. It ties all of them really essentially perfectly. Even the boat scene, which I've heard Bryan talk about, if he were to say if there's something in the film that could be removed, the boat sequence he thinks would be removed.
I wouldn't remove it. I would shorten it. Is all.
Gotcha.
I think I don't think you necessarily need to see the people on the boats making decision. The very fact that neither one of them has blown up yet is enough to tell us what's going on. But I mean that's just me searching for something to
for
criticize.
For me, I actually think the boat scene is incredibly needed. I actually think, because for me that's where the Joker's thesis is played out. Like, his thesis is, if pushed to the nth degree, people will show their true colors and they will show that they are just as ugly as me. And the thing with The Dark Knight that a lot of people fail to realize, there's no winner. Batman loses and the Joker loses.
Everyone
he loses in his thesis of everyone is ugly as me. They're not. And they prove it in that moment on the boat. And Batman even tells them, what were you trying to prove? That deep down, everyone's as ugly as you? You're alone. So, and in that moment, Batman can't beat the Joker in force. He can't use his brutality. He can't use his physicality. He has to have complete faith in the people of Gotham to do the right thing. And that is played out brilliantly in that scene. Great tension score playing out. And when the guy's holding the detonator, you hear that score building, the tension rising, and then it's cut. And I just think, Batman, like I said, he can't win by brute force or even will. Even willpower can't win him in that situation. He has to rely on the people just as much as they have had to rely on him before. So
first time I watched it, there's no problem with that scene. Like it's like, so yeah, I agree. For me, it's just like when I'm watching it for like the 15th time, which I've done. It's like, I know exactly what's going on here now because I've seen it so many times.
Right.
I kind of just want to get to Batman and the Joker now because they're so good. So that's really all it is. But in terms of like, watching it for the first time, the tension of who's going to click? Is anyone going to click? And, the criminal gets hold of it and he's like, I'm going to do what you should have done long ago.
Yeah.
Out the window. It's like, woo. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, again, like I say, first time I saw this was the most single perfect cinema experience I've ever had in my life. So
yeah, it's great. I love it. I think it's and the reason I think it's slightly better, and it's, I don't even like using that word here because both films are flawless, but the reason I would put it above the Batman is essentially ambition. I think that while Reeves was certainly ambitious in what he did, what Nolan did completely changed the genre, completely changed the superhero genre. That level of ambition outweighs anything else that came out after, as far as like superhero, and what Nolan did, paving the way for other superhero films to be not just great superhero films, but great films. So that's the one thing that I kind of give it to The Dark Knight for. But yeah, that's our ranking, guys. Feel free to leave your ranking in the comment section as well.
Sean, it's just one criticism of Dark Knight. I hate the cancer voice.
fair issue. I can't deny.
What are you talking about?
Where's the Joker? Yeah.
Swear to me.
I've also heard, and I'll just touch on this real quick. I've heard people have issues. One of my buddies here, I was just debating about this with last week, was like he was dogging it because he's like, I don't know why Batman had to take the fall. Why did Batman, like, he had to? That's for the sake of the story. Who else is going to take the fall? You can't be Harvey, because then if Harvey takes the fall,
if Harvey takes the fall, hope. Joker wins.
Right.
Wins.
Right. And Gotham loses hope. He was their symbol of hope. If he takes the fall, that hope and what he represents is gone. Mm-hmm. If Joker takes the fall again, the Joker wins and Harvey loses, because if Joker takes the fall, chaos conquers the order, the law and order that Harvey represents. So it's saying that the law and order that Harvey was meant to uphold can't win out against chaos, can't win out against crime. So you can't let Joker take the fall. It has to be Batman. Only he's the only one that can atone for essentially the sins of Gotham, and he has to be the one that take it, and he's the only one that can. So I don't have an issue with that at all.
Ultimately, I would argue that Joker wins in the end, because he proves that he was able to take Gotham's White Knight and bring him down to our level.
Right.
That's literally, he wins. It's just that Gotham doesn't get to see that he wins. Batman takes that victory from him by taking it upon himself.
Right. So, But there you go, guys. Bryan, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you. I know you've done the ranking before. You didn't have to do it again, but I couldn't do it alone. We're both huge Batman fans, so I'm glad you could come and make this more fun and entertaining for everyone. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for everyone who was here and commented. Don't forget to check out Bryan's channel, give him a like and sub. And until next time, you freaks, kick it and rock on.